All right, hello, and welcome to VGOSTRAM Episode 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
We're not coming up with titles for every single one.
I will attempt it, but if I really can't, then I'm not going to push for it. Anyways, welcome back. This is our second episode. I am the secondary co-host, Eric, aka Giraffe.
And today, technically you're the primary host, because it's the game that you picked.
Would that be how it works?
That's how I'm going to do it.
I guess it works. So I guess I'm the primary for now. So yeah, I already introduced myself. Why don't you introduce yourself this time?
All right, well, I'm your ex-primary and now secondary host, Cody, or Chemlicker. And today we will be doing Sonic Heroes.
Which is, in my humble opinion, the best Sonic soundtrack out of all the games. Which was a little hard to say that because I really enjoyed a lot of the soundtracks between them. But anyways, anybody who's not familiar with this game, it first appeared on the GameCube and then was also available for PlayStation 2 and Xbox. The original Xbox, not 360. But yeah, that's going to be the song for today. The first song, actually... Is there anything I'm forgetting before we actually start going into the first song?
Not really.
Okay. The first song is going to be the main theme. It's a really good intro song to really start off with the series. It honestly doesn't even sound like a main theme as much as it sounds like Sonic's team's main theme, which is weird because they already have a theme song for that team.
It's probably because Sonic is in the title.
Yeah, but like every Sonic soundtrack has like a song that just kind of gives like a heroic feel. This one makes it sound like specifically more for Sonic's team.
All right. My review of this song is going to be less personal, I guess, just because I'm not familiar with this game at all. I have never played it outside of a Target demo in like 2004. So this was the same era as Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure 2. And personally, I prefer those two songs a lot more. And that's not to say that this song is bad in any way. It's another Crush 40 song. But I do think that it is very, very cheesy in comparison. And those two are already cheesy.
I mean, you know me, I love my cheese. But also what makes it a really good song is it's got a lot of high energy to it. And it's really catchy. I would say it works as a Sonic theme. I would say after... Oh man, it's hard to say. Because I want to say Reach for the Stars was probably like the last catchy Sonic theme song. Which was for...
The Colors?
Yeah, Sonic Colors. That was the last catchy Sonic game. Or theme. Theme, I should say. So, I would say this is probably in the top 3 or top 4 of the opening themes. I would still put Live and Learn at the top, and then Open Your Heart.
And I would do the opposite. You know, the first time I heard this song was in 2008 for Brawl.
I was going to say, because I remember you not really playing this specific game, or being familiar with it. And Brawl was the first time Sonic was actually in Smash.
It bugs me because this song was stuck in my head for the past 3 days. And it's just the Sonic Heroes part. It's like not even the rest of the song.
I mean, you just wanted to chant Sonic Heroes, didn't you?
No.
No? It's not like the spirit bomb? Sonic Heroes. Just like raise your hand to the air?
No.
Oh, okay. Maybe just me then.
I'm not you.
You just got to give your energy sometimes. All right. Anyways, moving along. The next song that we're going to have is actually We Can, which is Team Sonic's theme.
His actual theme.
Yeah, it's not even the team's theme, it's his theme, which is like kind of a trend with most the team themes.
Is that what you got?
No. But I mean, like I said, it's full of high energy. I mean, it's another song. You could probably replace the actual opening song with this, and it would just work because both songs describe really Sonic, or just kind of the energy of Sonic. I would say this is much more cheesy, though.
Yeah. I even wrote that down, too.
Really?
Yeah. So some notes that I have with this song. Yes, it is cheesier than the last. But I find it kind of weird that they made a ballad Team Sonic's theme. And on top of that, this song is basically just Metal Harbor. Like chords and structures and everything.
Huh, I never really recognized that. I know some of the songs are very similar with some Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 songs.
I only know this because I covered it earlier this year.
Links will be in the description to the video.
Like everything else that I will put.
I always forget that it also talks about each individual character. But, I mean, again, it's still mostly Sonic because it's Sonic and his friends.
As we already know, that Tails is like gospel singing and Knuckles is rap.
Would you really consider Tails being gospel singing, though?
Do you remember this first song?
Yes.
It's not good.
I wouldn't really consider it gospel singing.
It's bad gospel singing.
I would say it was like poppy.
So this is not on the song itself, but on the singer. Like, she sounds like that kind of person who is told she's good singing by her like church choir.
Jesus Christ.
That's like as far as it goes. I don't really want to be too hateful this whole podcast because like this soundtrack is wonderful, but there are definitely some things that don't hold up to the test of time.
I mean, obviously there's going to be some things that are different as you like listen on, but yeah, that's all I got for the song, at least.
It definitely serves its purpose. It's fine. Cheesy. It's a Sonic song, I think is the best way to put it.
It's successful at being a Sonic song. I mean, it's for the team anyways.
It's literally a Sonic song. And then moving on to the next song is Stage 1, Seaside Hill, which in this case is the 20th anniversary edition.
Yes, so some songs are going to be missing. It was kind of like a last second catch of...
He told me 4 hours before recording this podcast.
I mean, I took a glance at the list originally, which kind of my bad, to actually look through everything to make sure it was 100% right. But I caught some songs that were missing, but like one important song. So we made sure to at least be able to cover those once they come up. But anyways, for this song, it's a chill song. It's like literally the intro stage for every team. And it's kind of like a beachside level, and it serves that purpose. It sounds beachy, sounds pretty happy.
It sounds Sonic Beachy, which is kind of its own established identity at this point.
Which is funny because that's kind of like a mix mash of different instruments. So you got like an electric guitar, got some heavy drums. Honestly, you got some bass in there.
It's a rock ensemble. That's Sonic music.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. And then...
So some notes that I noticed is that this sounds... The intro sounds like at the beginning of a Tails theme from Sonic Adventure 1 and mixed in with Station Square from Sonic Adventure 1. And I don't know if that's an intentional motif, but it's what I hear.
I mean, yeah, it could work that way because there was a beach level right after Station Square as you start that game too. I mean, most of their games' intro music is usually intro levels are usually like a beach or a forest.
So I'm going to make an observation that's probably going to possibly annoy you, but it's something that I've noticed listening to this entire soundtrack. So after the supposed chorus of the song, where it returns back to the form of the intro, there's like a distinct Senran Kagura sound to it. And I want to point that out because from what I noticed, that a lot of the Senran Kagura's soundtrack sounds like a halfway point between Sonic music and Devil May Cry. I was including One Chambara, which is another
Hack and slash.
Marvelous game, I think.
Yeah, it's a
Same
zombie hack and
composer
slash.
anyway. But that's my observation.
All right. Well, our second actual level music. So the way the games work is it's usually 2 levels that are theme associated, then a boss or boss-ish stage, and then like another level. So this would be technically stage 1-2 in a sense, at least going based off how Sonic used to work, will be Ocean Palace. Now, this is actually one of my personal favorite songs on this soundtrack. And it's mostly apparent once the second half of the song actually kicks in, because it's so darn happy.
Is it the dance beat?
Yes. I mean, the song itself doesn't sound very aquatic. Like, because it's another, like, not really a beach level. It's like an ocean level, kind of.
As the name Ocean Palace infers.
Well, yeah, like the level just like comes out from the ocean. So then it's kind of weird. But like, this doesn't seem like anything oceany, palacey. It's just like, it's a level song that just kind of stands out on its own, I would say.
So the very first time you showed me this song was a couple weeks ago. And I really didn't really care for it first time I heard it. I think it's because the like main trumpet melody is weird. But listening to it for this project, I think it definitely sounds a lot better when I'm putting attention into it. So the intro is still kind of whatever. And then when the lead guitar comes in, it's still a really weird melodic movement. That doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. But the slap bass brings it together. The drums are simple. And then once the actual song kicks in, then that's where I think for lack of better words, the actual song kicks in. So for example, there's a heavily I don't know what you would call it. Like, it's almost like a phaser or a chorus on the guitars. And that's probably the one thing I would say that actually feels aquatic and beachy.
I mean, I guess
it's a stretch.
Yeah, it really is a stretch. Also, for the people that are Sonic fans and who love Sonic games in general, they would more likely know this. But for people who are just kind of casual Sonic fans who play whichever games or have only played like the one, this song in Sonic Generations is a mix of this level and Seaside Hill. So they mix the two together, which is a weird mix. Like, it's literally half ocean or half Seaside Hill, and then this half of Ocean Palace.
I should listen to that.
It's really good. I don't know if I want to say it's my favorite rendition of it, but it's like a good mix of the two songs.
So before moving on to the next one, there's something I want to point out too. That's very niche. In the second part of the song, there's like a synth trumpet lead, and it's very similar to a song by The Pillows on an album no one's ever heard of. I'll link it. It's called Liberty, and I think you'll know what I mean.
I want to say you probably showed it to me.
I don't think I ever have. It's one of their songs like nobody cares about.
That sucks.
Okay, moving on to Follow Me. So this is Team Rose's theme. And now we have another ballad, but it actually makes more sense here because girl power.
This is more so Amy's theme, if anything. that has nothing to do with Cream or Biggs the Cat.
I mean, it's a given. I'm just going off the song title names.
Oh, no, I know. It's just...
Also,
like,
what are you talking about? Big the Cat is best girl.
I mean, we still don't know. Maybe he's a boy. I don't know. He's a dopey cat. That's mainly how I would describe him. Who fishes all day.
So, one thing that stands out to me about the song, well, two things really. One, this does Amy so much more service than her Sonic Adventure 1 song.
And don't forget Sonic Adventure 2, which is just pretty much a shorter version of that one.
And that, which is saying something because the original is already like a 10-second loop.
And it's literally that 10-second part, just like it's extended intro and then that part and that's it.
But the song really gives off a like teenage girl energy, if that makes any sense.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. This is like a love story song.
That's perfect. The lyrics are weird.
It's still a better love story than Twilight.
That's not a hard mark.
But it meets that mark anyways. But like I said, this is like a love song. Like it's a ballad. And it's super happy. And it's weird. Okay, so when you play this game, when you fight one of the enemy teams, like later on in the game, there's team theme plays. I never really paid attention to the song until that moment for this specific team. But that's when it actually clicked that I like this song. And it's weird because I would never think I would like a song like this. And I'm not even sure what about it is that I like.
Probably the rock aesthetic.
Probably. But like the super happy, like lovey-dovey parts of the song, it's just so not like the type of music I would like or listen to. So it catches me off guard with how much I like it, I should say.
Fair.
Now, we're going to go into the next song. This song has no reason to be so catchy. For a system's screen select option.
That's pretty much my thought too.
And this is literally just a system screen select music. Why they would make something so happy, so catchy, and so likable is like so unheard of. Now, another thing, this is like one of my favorite Sonic games, or my favorite Sonic game. So I'm going to gush a little bit throughout this entire thing. But when playing this game, I will literally sit here listening to the music before I actually do anything. Now, no other Sonic game has made me do that. I can admit that. Like I said, nobody would know this. We did like a thing on Mario Sunshine, but it was kind of the same thing there, where like this is one of the few games where I actually stayed for the intro music.
So when I heard this song for the first time going through the soundtrack, I had pretty much the same thought. Like, I had to double check. Like, this is really menu music. It's strange because menu music is usually like one of the songs that composers don't care about. Or it's just, there is no menu music.
They're like, we'll just like put something together, and they're like, oh, we really like this. Let's just like go hard on it.
So my thing with this song is that there's a couple of things I want to point out. So in the intro, there's a motif, I believe. I think it's Angel Island. And like Sonic 3.
Yeah, it would be Sonic 3 and Sonic Knuckles, I want to say.
If that's the song I'm thinking of, then that's what that reminds me of. But, so this song is very Japanese to a fault. So in the second half, it's like a tropical kind of like bubblegum dance pop. And then there's this like, I call it like the Cabana progression. I believe it's used in Copacabana by Barry Manilow. And it's the same thing, like same vibe. Also, second half really reminds me of I want to say it's Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, where it uses similar sound fonts in the second half.
Yeah, I would say it does have that Diamond and Pearl kind of sound to it, I should say. And it's funny because you probably could have just stuck this song into like any level and nobody would have known. Like you could just made a level for this music, or like even in the special stages, and nobody would have caught on that this was supposed to be just for the system music.
It's good.
It's good. It's really good.
It's really good.
Give it rings out of rings.
I forgot about that rating system. We'll come back to that, I swear.
We'll have an actual rating system eventually.
So the next song, which is Grand Metropolis, Stage 3. This is Team Rose's first stage, right?
No, every team does the same like order. So it's Seaside Hill, Ocean Palace. Then there's usually like a thing. So like between Ocean Palace and this would normally be the Egg Hawk, but it's the same thing as Egg Albatross.
Okay.
So, and then this is Grand Metropolis, which is the second stage, and then it's Power Plant. Then you have another kind of in between thing where it's like a boss battle between one of the teams, and then you got more levels. So it's pretty much events between stuff.
Okay. Good to know. That's really confusing, especially with how the stage songs progress. But moving on. So this song, multiple times, just reminds me of Kirby music, specifically in the Game Boy Advanced era. So let me clarify that.
Please do.
So the main reason why I would say this is because, like, the guitar lead is whatever. It's not really a lead. But there's these, like, frenetic arpeggios going on in the background, which Kirby does a lot in that era. I don't know. There's just a lot of Kirby stuff going on. The only difference I would say is that, you know, this song is not changing like keys every 5 seconds. Those songs are wacky.
I don't know if you're making a very compelling argument, but I mean, I personally don't like this song. This is probably like an song at best. Like it's all right. Like I don't hate it, but it's for me. It's one of those things where I don't like this level, and when I hear this song, I think of this level. So I can't disassociate the two, and it's really it's a bit of a bias that I can't shake.
I get it.
For me personally, I really tried listening to it at an objective standpoint, but I can't. It just seems like there's not enough for it to be like a good song for me.
I think it's passable.
Like it does have a metropolistic feel.
Does it?
Like, yeah, like it has like the arpeggios kind of have like an electronic feel, and the entire thing is just kind of like a giant like factory. So it's fitting. But I just don't like I don't really care for it.
That's fine. You don't have to like every single song. And I make that clear too.
Now, next song, which is much better, is Power Plant.
Also, same song.
No, it's better.
It's the same song. It's just done with different instruments.
Don't tell me that, because I like this song much better.
Well, I hate to ruin your parade, but
Please
it's literally
don't.
the same song.
It is not. You'll never convince me.
It is 100% note for note.
I will have to listen to them personally again, just like back and forth. But
It's not really.
I don't know.
It just uses this. It's the same melody.
Well, like I was saying, I was gonna say this song has a lot more to it. Like there's just more energy. There's more things going on, so it's not empty. This is one of the songs where I believe in this game, the second stage music is usually better. There is something that there are like two main stages that kind of like keep that from being true. But like this specific song is like a good contender as to why I think like the second stage music is usually better, because the last stage song, this one, it's great. It's perfect.
It's the same song.
Don't do this to me, please. Don't shatter this mirror.
I will agree, though. It is better in every way, because it starts leaning into the industrial vibe, which happens a lot in these soundtracks. And
I mean, it's not Sonic without a hill or a city.
I mean, industrial music, not industrial zones.
Hill City Zone.
So it would be the first instance where I would say that there's a lot of influence where Onechambara got his music.
I can't honestly remember that soundtrack for that game.
It's better than Senran Kagura. I'll give you that much. But a lot of it's just like industrial rock, maybe a little more electronic focus, but it's industrial rock.
Which is good. Much more so compared to the last song. Even though I don't really care for the stage as much either.
That being said, this song is better than the last one. I don't really mind the last one, but they're the same song.
Don't do this. All right. Now we got our first special stage song. Now on every -1 stage, you'll be doing a race to collect as many rings as possible. And on the -2 is going to be the emerald races. This one specifically for the rings. So this song is very fitting for what you're doing. You're just kind of running around collecting stuff. I mean, they got little obstacles sprinkled here and there, but like it's more so for fun. It's just like a fun song for a fun little event. And it's very happy for whatever reason. It's like the dude that composed the song literally ate like rainbows and sunshines for breakfast, because that's pretty much what he did when he composed the song.
I'm kind of glad you brought up the word sunshine.
Why?
In the second half of this song, I am pretty sure they reprise the motif of "Can You Feel the Sunshine" from Sonic Racing.
Maybe. I mean, they're not like Capcom where they reuse almost every asset that they have.
Motifs are different than literally reusing everything.
Yes and no.
Yes, it's definitely different.
Yeah, we'll say yes and no.
Anyways, as for my point, the first half of the song, again, is very Japanese to a fault. It's very dance heavy, and I don't know how to describe this. I'll have to look into it. But I always said that there is a very specific like carnival feel when it comes to like melodies that use this sound.
So what you're saying is put this in any carnival and it'll work out.
No, specifically like a Japanese carnival. And I don't mean
so like a high school like carnival thing.
I don't really know how to describe it. But it's a good song. It's very fast-paced, catchy.
Also reminds me of Nights.
I can see that. There's a little bit where the trumpet comes in. That sound reminds me of Trails of Cold Steel.
I can kind of get where you say that, but maybe I would say Cold Steel uses that kind of sound a lot, anyways.
They're both Japanese.
Yes, even though Cold Steel is kind of like budget Germany, kind of like world.
Yes. Second half, I believe, reprises Can You Feel the Sunshine from Sonic R. And for all that game is, that's probably the one good thing about it.
Yeah, I don't remember that game being very good.
And on to the next song, Casino Park. I have a lot of things to talk about on this song. And boy, is it going to go weird places.
It's going to go everywhere.
So, after coming off Sonic Adventure 1's casino area, I feel like this song is a letdown in comparison.
Really?
Yeah. Because, have you listened to it?
Yes,
that
but
stuff
depending
is
on which...
crunchy. That is some crunchy jazz.
I forgot you like your crunchy jazz.
But this song, though, in particular, so this song is literally just a vocalist song taken from 2008 to 2012 American pop. You could lay Katy Perry vocals over this song, and you won't have to do anything else. The song does the rest of it for you. And it also kind of sounds like it was made for The Sims 3, which is funny, too, because Katy Perry had her entire expansion pack.
Did she?
Yeah.
Huh. That kind of sucks.
So it kind of fits hand in hand. But, yeah, this song is literally just American pop from 2008 to 2012.
All right, so I personally really like this song.
I don't hate it. I want to be clear. I just don't think it's as good as the other one.
I personally think this is better. Mainly because there's, like, out of all the casino levels that are, like, the most memorable, I would put this one, the one in Sonic 2, and then, like, I don't really even think about Sonic Adventure's casino level. Like, I mean, as long as you don't suck at pinball, like, you really don't hear any of the other songs, which I prefer the sewer song in Sonic Adventure 1 over the actual casino levels. But, I mean, with this one, it's so happy. Like, it's one of those levels where I can imagine all the sound effects that are going on. Like the little slot machines, the pinball stuff. There's just a lot of, I would say, I don't even know. Like, I can't say fondness because it's not my favorite level, but, like, it's up there for me.
You can like multiple levels.
Well, I do. There's, like, literally, like, a handful I don't like. But it's, like, trying to, like, rank them all is hard because they're very, like, whether the music for the level is, like, great versus, like, the actual level itself. Like, this is one of the two where the combinations where the level's good and so is the music. But obviously there's songs and levels that have higher priority. Anyways, before I continue gushing anymore on this
before we move on to the next song, there's something else I want to point out too. So, because of the aforementioned, like, Katy Perry pop thing, this song reminds me a lot of a song I wrote for my final in music, where it's literally just that style of music, and unfortunately, I lost it in a computer wipe many years ago. Otherwise, I totally would just upload it, see for yourself. Maybe I'll remake it one day.
Do you even remember how it went?
This.
Okay, fair enough. Now, the next song is the inferior song. You got Bingo Highway. I mean, it's a highway theme song, but it's kind of like the same level where it's still slot machines and pinball and coin betting, I guess, where it's a bit fitting. Personally, I don't really care for the song either. Just kind of like the what was the other level? Power plant. But like this is not like I don't like this song because of the level like power plant. I just don't like the actual song. It just seems really weird, and like it kind of goes in different directions.
To build on top of that, I like the beginning of the song, but I think once it starts progressing, it becomes too weird, and they start using that Game & Watch tone.
Yeah, like was it 8-bit?
Yeah. It's not pleasing to the ear.
It's not. It's if they could have just like done this theme different or like this song differently, it would be fine. It's just it's a mess. Is how I would probably best describe it.
So there's other cool things I can talk about it from an unbiased, unknowing opinion. So I personally hate the whole tone scale, and that is used, but it's used in a cool kind of way because it's used in the Castlevania way, like classic Castlevania. But aside from that, there really isn't a lot going on. Like, I like the guitar, I like the tremolo, I like the bit crusher. I do not like the Game & Watch tone. I don't like the incessant beeps and boops that's going on in the background.
Robots, ladies and gentlemen.
So it's a very... I would honestly give it like a 4 out of 10.
If you're actually like ranking it, I'd probably give it a 3. Like if they just kind of stuck with one thing over just like having kind of like an electronic sound and then just going into like the 8-bit ringtone era type of sound effect, it probably wouldn't be as... I don't know. No, it'd still be bad. Like, you would have to do a lot to really salvage this song, in my opinion.
Wow. Well, there you have it.
Bad song. Get rid of it. Just replace it with a system menu song. It'd be much better.
And going to the next song, which is...
Battle Casino Arena, which is...
Thanks. It's actually Area.
Yeah. Not Arena. Area. I actually forgot where this song plays. I want to say it's like in specific areas in the second level, but I can't exactly remember where because it's still the second level. I know you're just giving me like a look like I was...
I'm looking at you because you're my co-host.
How dare you look at me? But yeah, I mean, this is a better version of the same Bingo Highway.
And there's more going on here too.
There's still a lot more going on, but I feel like they added like a little more, I don't know, like, would you put like 60s sound effects or 70s sound effects for like 70s pop?
Okay.
Or no, 70s disco?
Kind of glad you brought that up. So one, the main melody of the song, I know there are songs in real life that did this, but the only one that I can think of that did it is, I want to say it was in Mega Man 1, but I don't know what stage. I'm pretty sure it's from Mega Man 1. But this song also has a very overreaching feeling of Donna Summer's I Feel Love, which is a 70s kind of like techno disco song, which is where I think you're getting that from.
Yeah, that's honestly where I would pinpoint that actual sound from, which I didn't think you would actually get that. Well, I mean, I'm surprised and I'm not surprised.
You're surprised because...
we arrived at the same conclusion.
And you're not surprised because...
you should be able to arrive at the conclusion. So I don't know, maybe it's more so I'm surprised at myself.
It's always you.
I mean, I am the most... kidding. Yeah, I would say this is a much step up compared to the last song, at least personally.
I agree, because whole tone scale returns, and it's tolerable. The Game & Watch sounds are back too, but they're actually done in a more melodic and thoughtful way, so they don't hurt my ears as much.
All right.
Let me start this one.
Okay.
So This Machine, which is Team Dark's So Edgy main song. Good God, this song is great. Possibly easily the best song in the soundtrack.
I have to hard agree. It is my favorite team song. And dear Lord, is it good.
I am not an industrial fan. I don't mind it, but there's really nothing about industrial that grabs me. But this song in particular does so much that it sounds just like a regular industrial song and not like an industrial video game song.
Which is kind of funny because the song plays initially when Shadow is like locked up in a capsule. Like there's nothing industrialized in there. And then Rouge just breaks him out and Omega like literally almost kills both of them. So it's just kind of weird that they made this song.
But it's dark and edgy.
Oh yeah. You know I love that stuff.
Remember, his name is Shadow the Hedgehog.
Did you have an aneurysm there? You missed the H.
No.
Like that character in South Park where you can't say planetarium. But I don't know. The song itself speaks for itself. It's dark. Like the theme. I like the team. It's much more suited for Shadow. Which is funny because this is kind of like the game where you find out that Shadow is not actually human, like not human, like a living being.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know if you noticed, but they're not humans. They have what's it called? They got animal features. But yeah, this song is kind of like where it kind of hints that Shadow is a robot.
So I have two more notes about the song. So one, I think this is on the same level as Master Plan from Sonic Adventure 2. And that is some really high praise because that's my favorite song in that game.
Hashtag Master Plan.
What?
I said hashtag Master Plan.
Although the styles are similar but different. I don't know why, but the last Master Plan has like a Steven Tyler, Aerosmith kind of style singing.
Yeah. I mean, I would say Master Plan is good in like a meme and serious way. Like they just made it such a good song.
My second note is that I think this song would actually be perfect, but it's only being held back by the singer. I think if his singing was grungier or just heavier, I think it would be perfect.
So if you gave it to like Smashing Pumpkins or...
Yeah, why not Korgify it?
Yeah, just add a little more grunge to it.
Give it an Eddie Vedder.
So you can make it Eddie better.
Wow.
I had to. It was perfectly set up for me. All right. Next, we have the Boss Robot Carnival, also known as Robot Storm. It's pretty much the first, not really a boss level. There's only two of these like this. This is the first one, and it's super easy. So I don't even know why it would be considered like a boss thing. But, I mean, it's not... Oh, I'm not going to say it's good, but it's not really bad. It's kind of there. I don't know. There's not really too much for me to really speak on. It's just more so just like kind of sound effects. It's just kind of a theme for badness.
I guess following whatever that was. It's more industrial. It just
Not the good kind.
heavily downgraded from the last song. And I never really made that connection before, but there's like some kind of synth sound that's used in Donkey Kong Country. Anyway, yeah, it's fine. It's the definition of it does what it's supposed to, where there's nothing notable about it. It's just here's more industrial music.
Yeah, it's just a bad theme. A theme for a bad guy, I should say. 'Cause Eggman just kind of like floats around in the background while you fight his robots.
And moving on to the next song, which is Stage 7, Rail Canyon.
This is a Sonic Adventure 2 song.
That's exactly what I put in my notes.
It is, I would say it's a better version of Skyrail, which is the Shadow version of Pumpkin Hill, where it's the same level, just Shadow goes through it, and there's like a bunch of rails, which is why it's called Skyrail. But yeah, I would say this song, it's like the dude just kind of like put himself back into like Sonic Adventure 2 mode, and then he just went with it.
So I wrote that, yeah, it's pretty much the same. Like, it goes back to Sonic Adventure 2. And it also reminds me a bit of I don't remember the stage name, but it's like the pyramids.
Which one, for the hero side or the dark side?
Dark. Wait. No, hero.
The one for Tails?
Sonic.
For Sonic. Oh man, I can't remember it. I know what level you're talking about, and it's killing me that I can't remember.
But that's not the important thing that I want to talk about here. So this song, I think, is heavily influenced by Rush. And I think that is a theme that sticks within the next couple songs too. So
yeah, I could definitely see that.
There's a lot of Lifeson chords, as they're called, which is a guitarist, Alex Lifeson. There's just a bunch of like elongated suspended chords. And then there's a bunch of like staccato quarter notes, which Rush did a lot in the early 70s. But you'll hear more about that as the songs go on.
Bullet Station. So the way the song feels compared to like how the level is, it's completely opposite. So the level itself is completely hectic because there's trains just getting thrown at you, and like you're racing trains the entire time. Same for the last level, but not nearly as much. I mean, the last level of music was really fitting for that. This one, it's just like they slowed down the tempo for the song completely. I mean, it's not a bad song, but it's not fitting. It's just not fitting. Like it's weird. Like it's for a different level, I would say.
So you remember how I said I'd talk about more about the like Onechambra and Senran Kagura music?
Yeah.
If you want to know what the average Onechambra song sounds like, it's this.
Yeah, I can imagine that being played while slaying zombies in bikinis.
Sometimes.
Only sometimes.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add about this song.
This song's very...
It's fine.
I would say it's average. Like I said, it's not a bad song. It's just not fitting for the level.
With no context, it's fine.
With context, it's all right.
Which is kind of the same thing.
It's the same, but different. Now, the second best team song is Team Chaotix's theme, Team Chaotix.
I hate that name so much.
I mean, it makes sense as why that name is for this team. It's pretty much like introducing the team. Like it's a song. It's an actual song for a team, not for a person. It's for the team because it introduces everyone. Well, okay, maybe not everyone in Team Chaotix, but at least the characters that they show off here. Like this song has a lot of high energy and it's not very poppy. So, like it feels like, I don't want to say metal. It almost feels kind of like punk in a way.
No.
No? You don't think so?
This song is to the bone Motley Crue.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense also.
So when the vocals first come in on the song, it reminds me a lot of Devil May Cry, where it's just kind of like angry whispering.
Yeah, I can hear it. Oh yeah, also side note, Team Chaotix plays instruments for their team special.
I dig it.
Yeah, if I remember, it's... So SBO plays like a Japanese guitar, which is weird. Vector's the singer. And then Charmy, I think. What does Charmy do? Drums? Charmy does something. I can't remember.
Nice.
But yeah, it's like a musical one. So it's pretty funny and fitting. Because I feel like this is something they would sing.
The only real thing I know about Chaotix is Vector's voice reminds me a lot of the Gummy Rat guy.
That depends. Which voice did you hear?
Sonic Boom.
So that is not the same voice actor.
It is not, I think.
Well, because after Sonic Heroes is when they changed voice actors to the anime version. And that's
Okay.
when...
So that's the one that I think sounds like the Gummy Rat guy.
Nope, there was another group.
Okay, the guy that was in Sonic Boom that plays Vector sounds like the Gummy Rat guy. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will link it. You need to hear it. It's wonderful.
I will have to, because I can't remember Vector's voice in Sonic Boom, but there's like 2 or 3 different renditions of his voice. Or no, maybe 4. Because it was this, Sonic Heroes, Sonic X, which got carried over to like another game, I want to say. Then Sonic Generations and then Sonic Boom. I want to say that's how it went.
This is your series, man.
I mean, I'm not like that one dude who's just like super creepily obsessed.
He who should not be named.
Most people know who it is. Or at least the ones that follow Sonic, at least.
Or the internet.
Anyone that follows internet will know. But yeah, there's really nothing much I can really add to that song.
There's one thing that I wrote down that I wanted to say for this. This song is Motley Crue without the herpes.
Can you really say that's Motley Crue at all?
There's plenty of other things.
All right. So we skipped over Egg Hawk, but Egg Albatross, literally same intro. And maybe it has like a little deeper tone to this, but it's essentially the same song. Like the way the stage works, the way the music is are practically very similar. The only difference is like they just split the level like in 2 parts. Like there's no middle section at some parts.
I don't really have a lot to add. It's more industrial. Well, it's like
It's industrial.
it's edging on industrial and hard rock.
But yeah, I would say this song is Egg Hawk with more attitude. Like this song is just a much more fuller version of that original song.
I will say on the second half of the song, though, it just becomes a bunch of noise, and it's not very pleasurable.
You mean you don't like hearing robots just having their way with each other?
No,
Well, then we're two
it
completely
doesn't
different
sound
people.
consensual.
Sounds completely sensual. There's a bunch of 1s and 0s in there, man. And maybe a 2. But there's not much to add, really.
And the next song is The Event, and it is Disquieting Shadow.
It's not an Eggman robot.
This song is really weird because this is the first full-on, like, spooky song that I've heard play in a Sonic game.
I mean, it's supposed to be foreboding. It's like... So, by the time you get to this part after beating Egg Albatross with each team, they each get, like, a different encounter. And it's either them learning something or just kind of... You'll hear something depending on who it is, and you'll see a character. I don't even know if I should really say spoilers.
It's
an old-
2003.
Yeah. So it's an old game. It's pretty much just kind of like showing off Metal Sonic. And it's kind of like hinting that maybe it's not Eggman.
I don't really have anything to add. It's a spooky song in Sonic
It's spoopy.
because I have no context.
Yeah. Next song is, let's see, Frog Forest. It has a very Asian sounding instrumental start, and then it kind of goes into a weird mix of sounds.
So I like it. because it's more of a soundscape than it is an actual song. Because like it loops pretty much like the same 4 bars.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems more like a jam session. Like they just couldn't figure out what they were going to do for this level. And they're like, all right, well, let's just play whatever. That's just kind of like how that song feels. Like it doesn't feel like it has a... It doesn't feel like it has a core identity.
Yeah, it's fine. It serves its purpose. It's nice. It's pleasant.
I mean, it doesn't really feel like a force, though.
No, it's pretty far.
The next song, Lost Jungle.
I have a lot to say about this song.
Really? I have really not much to say because I don't really care for this song.
I'll let you go first then.
I mean, first of all, it's like really all over the place. It's the moment it starts, it's you have like an instrumental start, and then it changes instruments completely, and then it changes instruments again, while using the second set of initial instruments. But I mean, personally, I think this is like the weakest song out of the whole soundtrack.
All right, buckle up.
Strap her in.
So I think this is a fantastic song in theory. This has everything that I like, but there's one small thing that I can't get over. And it's that annoying like buzzsaw synth that the Genesis used over and over and over and over. And it takes so much away from the song because it is just so ear grating.
Is that constant sound that's going on?
No, it's just the lead. It literally sounds like a table saw going off at 6 a.m.
That one? Huh.
Aside from that, though, I love everything else about the song. Like, I love tribal beats. I love the, like, extremely dissonant upright bass. I love the jazzy Rhodes. This honestly would be a top 5 song for me if it wasn't for that buzzsaw lead.
That's such a weird thing to say. I mean, if you like the song, you like the song, but I don't know. I just personally don't enjoy this song.
This honestly reminds me of a swamp.
Well, it is a swamp.
Then it did its job. There's a song I'm going to show you after we're done with this. That's from Liquid Tension Experiment, and I think you'll understand the similarities of why I like this song. Go listen to Osmosis by Liquid Tension Experiment. I'll link it. Moving on.
So here's the second special stage song, which is only doable if you get a key on the second stages. It's for the Emerald Challenge. So it's another fast-paced song. I want to say it's almost the exact same song, but just looped differently. I want to say it almost has like a little bit less from the original song.
Not even close.
I don't think this is it. Right, yeah, it is.
This is the song we were just listening to.
Yeah.
The one I played was the last bonus song.
I mean, it's a deeper song.
What?
Yeah, like the tone is deeper.
It's
the other
not
one
the
was higher
same.
pitch. Huh?
It's not. They're not remotely the same.
They're the same. Okay, they're not really the same, but they have the same. To me, they have the same feel to them. Because it actually kind of reminds me of the Sonic Adventure 2 like space levels in a sense.
Don't really remember what they sound like off the top of my head.
I mean, just not this specific part. This specific part, I don't know. I would have to say this specific song is kind of like weird because it shares similarities and it doesn't. You know what? No. Not Sonic Adventure 2 space music. Reminds me of Twinkle Park.
I think that's even further.
Is it?
I think so.
I'm specifically like talking about like the race car part.
Maybe. It's been a while since I heard it, but we'll let you decide. As for my review, compositionally, this is very much a Sonic song, but sonically, it sounds nothing like a Sonic song. So it's kind of amazing that they're able to pull that off. It's okay. It doesn't really do a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it serves its purpose. It's a race. You're literally racing the emerald to get it.
Wait, you're racing the emerald?
Yeah, you have to beat the emerald in a race in order to get the Chaos Emerald.
Okay.
I've spent many hours on like the second half of them because they have... It is like one of the worst controlling parts of the game, which is hard to say because that game has really good controls. It's just that specific section of the game where you have to get the Chaos Emeralds is annoying to deal with.
I'll
But anyways,
take your word for it.
I don't know if I should start this off or do you want to start it off?
I mean, I'll start. So this is Hang Castle. One of the biggest highlights of the soundtrack, personally, for many reasons. So off the bat, like, it doesn't feel that dark, but if you listen to the undertones, it is. Like, the slow arpeggios going on in the background are very, very minor. But the vocal melodies, or vocal samples, the vocal samples are very Hideki Naganuma, the guy who worked on Jet Set Radio soundtrack. It sounds extremely similar.
It's also a Sega game.
Yes. So it's possible, but he's not listed in the credits. Now, the song transitions into like an actual like spooky carnival. And then it's like really solidifies, the song's evil because clowns are evil. 3-4 is evil.
Which is funny because there's no clowns like in the entire area. It's pretty much just like a mansion or like a castle that you go through. And when you interact with like certain things, it flips the level upside down. So you're playing the level like both normal way and upside down. Each song represents specific parts of the level, which is really good.
So in the second part of this song, it becomes a ska song for some reason. But there's something funny about the upbeat. It sounds like the Thomas the Tank theme song.
I can hear it.
Whatever it is.
Oh, so just so you kind of understand how the song works, this is the song that normally plays when you're right side up. So
that's weird. With
the vocal tones and like the creepy part is when it flips you.
That's weird.
But for me, what makes this the song and level dynamic work together so well that I feel like the song makes the level. I don't even think it's like the level makes the song. Because, like I said, when you're, depending on which way you're facing, will depend on which song you're playing. And the fact that you practically get 2 songs in one level is already different compared to like the other Sonic games in general. But this song has so much going on, whether you're in the first part or in the second part, that both versions of the song are really enjoyable. Like there's nothing bad about it.
There's not a single thing about the song I don't like, which is good because I always have at least one thing I could say like detracts from a song or could use improvement or something, but this song is great.
It's great. Now we got Mystic Mansion as the next song. I want to say I prefer this song. With how great the last song was, I want to say I prefer this song better.
Okay, why?
It's got like a weird, I want to say spooky feel to it, but it's because of that like weird like, I can't really peg the instrument. It's kind of like a flute or like a
theremin.
Oh, yeah, a bearman. So I want to say it's that plus the bells really make the song for me. Like I love those bells. And then there's like a part later on which kind of has like a weird synth sound to it. Like the wee 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 wee. This. Oh, I love this part.
This is the B section for those listening.
Yeah. So obviously we're gonna like throw a thing in the description, and then when you get to the part where it makes that sound that I made, that awful version of it, I don't know, like how it transitions to each part of the song is very proggy, and I like it.
I don't know if proggy is the word I would use, but it is kind of drastic. So this song to me is another fantastic song in the soundtrack. It's hard to say which one I like more, especially since I'm a lot more unfamiliar with them. But I think this song is better from a song's like structure standpoint. Like there's a lot more to the point. I don't know. It's too early for me to judge. But the intro reminds you of the little bit of Metroid music that I know.
Yeah, I mean, it does have a Metroid feel to it.
And then once the theremin comes in, it reminds me of Luigi's Mansion.
I mean, it is supposed to be like a spooky level. I mean, depending on which characters or which teams you're playing will depend on exactly like...
So as you mentioned before, the guitars, the tubular bells are definitely the highlights of this song, I think.
Yeah, and the Bearman.
And next song we have is Egg Fleet, which is Stage 13. And as I said earlier, this is just another Rush song.
Yes. So, this is a really good song, and it's really weird because every team gets so on every first stage of every couple levels, the characters really have like a bit of dialogue, and the dialogue sections are usually like kind of boring, but for every team they have something super cool, like they strike a cool like JoJo like pose. They have like something cool that they say, and then the song and the like stage just kind of just go straight into it. And like from the get-go, just both the music and the level just kind of gets you going, like it propels you forward. There's just like so much going on, a lot of energy. Also, this game breaks the mold that the last level or the last couple levels of Sonic games kind of fall off. Sonic Adventure 1 does that, Sonic Adventure 2 does that. This game does not do that.
Are you saying songs or levels?
Songs and levels. I will say the last couple levels of this game are probably like the most fun and challenging parts because they like literally throw everything at you. So it's like challenging with how fun it is. The music also doesn't suck. Like the last couple levels of Sonic Adventure, hate them. Unless it's like a boss thing. Sonic Adventure 2, don't like the last levels, especially like the final like cooperative effort between both Team Dark and the hero team. Like both like the levels and everything, they're just all terrible. But this game, no, does not. It just completely breaks that mold, in my opinion.
I'll have to take your word for it. So aside from this being another Rush song, it's like de facto old modern Sonic music, which is good. And this is a very niche reference, I think. But it's one of those songs that I feel like you could make in an old Flash game called Punk-O-Matic, where it's just like a bunch of like preset riffs that you'd load into like a thing and then it would just play them.
Don't think I've ever heard of that.
It's niche.
All right. So the last actual playable stage will be Final Fortress. This song is part of like the top 3 level musics for me. Only under Mystic Mansion, I would say. Because I would say it's Mystic Mansion, Final Fortress, and then Ocean Palace. This song is really good because it feels foreboding because the actual fortress is supposed to be massive. Like absolutely massive. Even in like one of the characters talks about how this thing is like bigger than the egg carrier, which is in Sonic Adventure 1. So egg carrier was already huge. This thing is like a giant battle fortress and you are fighting and dealing with like every possible enemy, and this music makes you feel like you're dealing with all that and more. Like it's just the sense of you're fighting like hordes of enemies, lots of interactions between the level, everything that you've done and like learned up to this point is being put to the test on this specific level.
I really feel like I should have gone first on this song.
Why?
I do not like this song at all.
Really?
It's unfortunate because I know I'm missing all the context that you're talking about. So I'm only speaking from a standpoint like I'm just hearing the song and that's it. And I think for a final level, it does not sound good. Or not sound good, but it's not cool for a final level.
I mean, obviously, I'm speaking from bias. Yours is the most unbiased opinion you could possibly have,
and also like no context. So it's a bit of a miss all around. But I think for a final stage, it just doesn't feel grand enough. I think. This is a kind of a nitpick, but the sequencer they use in the background, it sounds like really early internet compression for some reason, and it bugs me. Like it sounds like a video rip from like 2001.
Yeah, I can kind of hear it.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad going second on this song. But the only real thing that stands out to me in this song positively is that the uses a borrowed chord, which kind of just jumps out at you and takes you by surprise. That's kind of all I got.
All right.
Whoops.
Now, the next one was originally accidentally skipped, which will be the Egg Emperor. Now, this is much, much better of a boss theme compared to the Egg Hawk and Egg Albatross.
I agree.
It's like chef kiss good. Like it gives you that sense of how dope it is, of like that the boss fight's gonna be. Like both the boss fight and the music go hand in hand in making it feel like you're actually fighting him. Because before you just felt like you're chasing him. Now he's like doing a final stand, and the music kind of goes with like an intensity with it.
So kind of going off the last song that we just talked about, I feel like even without the context, this song feels fitting. Like I can tell that it's supposed to be like high energy and cool, but I don't know.
Another thing I want to add to this is this kind of both works as kind of like a stage level music as well as a boss battle, because like the past two Eggman boss battles, you're still chasing him, but he's moving on to like different platforms the entire time to fight you again. And you're still going through the level as if there's something to go through. So it's not like just a standard boss battle song. It's just like it's a semi-level, semi-boss battle. So it's just kind of like a 2-in-1.
So from a compositional standpoint, this song really isn't anything special. But the thing I want to talk about is that I feel the instruments recorded in this song are way more high quality than like anything else in the soundtrack for whatever reason. So like the guitars always sound the same, but I can hear the bass very clearly. The snare is very clear. And just everything about it is like mixed really well compared to the rest of the album, which has...
Well, I'm pretty sure this was played by actual Crush 40.
I mean, so are the other two songs.
Well, so will the next couple's... Well, the last song, technically. Or second to last song.
But yeah, there's just something about this song that seems a lot clearer than any other song on the soundtrack for some reason.
I don't know, but they did a bang-up job. It's great.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. This is where you kind of find out where the real bad guy is. It's where Metal Sonic appears. And he dubs himself as the Metal Overlord. And it gives another sense of foreboding music to it. And it just kind of shows off he's the big bad. He's the dude that's been orchestrating this amazing game.
Speaking of orchestrating, I feel like that this is one of the first times they really utilized like an orchestral soundtrack for the series.
Yeah, and they decided to use it on creepy music.
And I like it because it actually reminds me a lot of Motoi Sakuraba's like darker stuff.
I was going to say, kind of like you could probably put it in like Resident Evil, like Outbreak.
I can hear that too, but that's not Motoi Sakuraba. Think Infinite Undiscovery.
Oh, okay. But yeah, my point still stands. You could put it in a Resident Evil game, or an early Resident Evil game, and it would work.
All right, the next is Last Boss 1, Metal Madness version 1. Another symphonic song. It kind of reminds me of what was his name? It was the space lizard from 2. Sonic Adventure 2.
It's Bio Lizard.
That one. Kind of reminds me of that. Although I think it's more hectic.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even say hectic. It sounds more creepy. Like they designed like a very creepy song for, like, I wouldn't really say he's a monster. Like it's they're trying to add more monstrosity to how the character actually is, I would say. Which is weird. I mean, it's cool. It makes the actual appearance of him seem more menacing, because he's just kind of like stuck to a tower.
Another thing I'd like to add, that the lead trumpet sounds a lot like Ocarina of Time.
Your most favorite game
Ever. It's better than Final Fantasy VII. I wonder who would win that fight.
Yes.
But again, it's another song where kind of reminds me of Motoi Sakuraba.
And it's weird because it kind of has like this little moments of hopelessness. This is going to kind of sound weird, but it almost sounds like they made this song for a completely different game.
I can get that.
Because like with how scary the music is, it's like Sonic meets like any horror game. And it's like maybe Sega had a horror game that they're going to work on and it got canceled and they just threw this song in there.
Didn't they make Fatal Frame?
Yeah, but the music wasn't like this. It was more like creepy and eerie.
All right, and the second to last song is
What I'm Made Of, which is the real final battle.
So I'm going to say right off the bat, it's Crush 40. It's another good song. I still don't think it's as good as Open Your Heart or Live and Learn.
I will have to say I think Live and Learn is better. This song specifically is really awesome. And I don't know exactly what makes it awesome. It's just, I want to say probably because you're fighting as Super Sonic along with Tails and Knuckles with the super aura around them, but without like a color palette change, which is weird. But it makes for like the perfect heroic or like superhero-esque moment.
Again, this is another Motley Crue song.
But I feel like this is possibly what makes this game feel closer to being a Sonic Adventure game than it feeling like a just completely different chapter in the series. If you were to just say this was Sonic Adventure 3, Sonic Heroes, I would completely believe you.
So I looked up a gameplay earlier today on accident, looking for that song you told me that we missed. And it looks like it's the same engine.
Same engine, but like the polygon count is higher. Like if you probably noticed, Sonic looks smoother.
Smooth brain.
Smooth brain. I mean, they perfected the engine at this point. Like this is where the engine, or like they switched from this engine to like another one, and I was so disappointed because like this game's gameplay was just perfect. Like I base a Sonic game's ability to be good based on how it handles spamming the homing attack. This game, you could just literally spam the living heck out of it, and it'll like do every hit that you do, and it'll be instant or near instant.
Is it as good as Sonic 06?
Get the trash out of here. But yeah, this song is as good to be associated with the Sonic Adventure songs because it feels like fighting Perfect Chaos or fighting Bio Lizard, like as playing as Super Sonic or Super Sonic and Super Shadow. It just feels very awesome.
So it's another observation I made. I think the main like verse and stuff feels a lot closer to Open Your Heart, and then the guitar solo section sounds a lot closer to Live and Learn.
Which is kind of weird because it takes parts of, or takes the similarities to both, but doesn't surpass them.
It's good.
It's good. It's really good. It's amazing.
The very like opening guitar line reminds me of something, and I want to say it's maybe something anime. I don't know.
Maybe anime-esque. I mean, it's supposed to be like very superhero-y.
I don't know what it reminds me of, but it reminds me of something. And the last and the least.
It's another event song. It's the finale.
The adventure must go on.
It's very overly happy. I would say it's...
Sappy.
Yeah, it's very sappy. Like, it's... This song doesn't fit for this game.
Oh my... This song reminds me of the classic Resident Evil endings.
Yeah.
Where it just does
really
not make
does.
sense. Specifically 3. If you have not heard the Resident Evil 3 ending, please listen to it. It's...
Remix
so
or...
out of place.
You said original, right?
Original.
Yeah, unless you're Eggman, everyone practically gets a happy ending. Because Eggman gets chased off into the distance by Team Chaotix. Because he owes them money. But yeah, that is the soundtrack for Sonic Heroes. Overall, I would say... If I had to rate it, I would give it like an 8 out of 10.
Without any context of the game itself, I would give it a solid about 7.5 out of 10.
8 rings out of rings.
So something that we should do for every podcast. What is your favorite and least favorite song?
I think I already said it. Favorite song will be... I think I said Mystic Mansion. I want to say it's Mystic Mansion. Would be the most favorite. Least favorite would be Power Plant.
For me, my favorite song would be
Or Bingo.
Team Darks.
Or Bingo Bridge would be my least favorite. I would say I'd have to categorize those songs differently because they have vocals.
But we're not doing that. This is one whole soundtrack.
Yeah, I would have to say Team Darks as like part of the whole soundtrack.
And as far as my least favorite goes, what is it? Was it Bingo Highway?
The one with the 8-bit sound?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's Bingo Highway.
then that. And on to the last section of the podcast, our personal songs.
As is our favorite part of the podcast, we essentially break down, well, not really break down. We just talk about our favorite songs. My song is going to be Boomer and Kawanger's theme for Mega Man X. And it's, you want me to also say your song or just kind of go more into my song? All right. So it's weird or hard to explain why I like Boomer Kawanger's song so much. With a stacked soundtrack that Mega Man X has, when you have bops like Chill Penguin, Armored Armadillo, even like Sigma's theme, there's so many good songs to go with that. For me, this song just stands out. Like, I always think of this specific song when I think of Mega Man. Like this, or maybe I should say Mega Man X. This song is my overall most favorite Mega Man song of probably all time, which someone actually covered.
Yes, I did, for your birthday.
Yep.
And it was hard.
Links will be in the description. But this song itself gives, I won't say a lot of emotion. This song just holds a really special place in my heart for Mega Man, because Mega Man X was like my first introduction to Mega Man games. And like the first levels I was able to actually do is Boomer Kawanger's tower, or Boomer Kawanger's level, and Sting Chameleon's level. Like, those were like the only two I could do. But this one, okay, Chill Penguin's also, but it's only because of the getting the boost leg armor. But yeah, this level is like the one that always like stood out as like a memory for me for playing this super old game on Super Nintendo. No, I'm lying. Yeah, it was Super Nintendo.
I actually know this song.
I'd hope so. You covered it.
My most popular song on my page that I've covered, I didn't know before playing it.
Wait, what?
Lost from Catherine.
Oh.
I have never heard that song before I chose it. But there's not a bad song on this soundtrack. Even like stuff like the boss theme or the stage select theme that's like a 5-second loop, they're not bad, they're just too short. But out of all the stage themes, this is definitely one of the better ones. It's faster than it sounds. I will say that. The little synth lead is like a stutter melody, but you're not just playing arpeggios. Otherwise, it would be too easy. Drums are fast. The melody is a orchestral hit, and I hate those. I absolutely hate those. But they're fine. I'm not going to hold that against the Super Nintendo just because you're so limited on what sounds you had. But the song's cool. I'm not really sure what this has to do with a beetle. But then again, I guess the other stages don't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, none of the stages really make sense for really the animal, besides like a penguin is in the Arctic and an eagle is in the sky. There's really no correlation between certain levels. It's just kind of like they choose an animal and they choose an element, or, well, in some cases they choose like an attribute or scientific thing like gravity beetle. Yeah, like gravity beetle, which in itself still doesn't make sense.
Got anything else?
No, I mean, it's mostly gushing. I'll just gush about this song, but I mean, the next song I also like, but it's not even mine. I don't think I should do the honors in introducing.
I was getting the song prepped. So the next song is the song I chose for the week. It's Servants of the Mountain from Final Fantasy X. And my God, this song is it's either this song or Assault that is tied for my number one song in the game. And this song isn't really exciting. It's just a very in the moment kind of song where it's chilled out because snow. But like, you know, you're walking to Xanarkand. This is your final step before reaching Xanarkand. And then like the music is just, I hate using the word, but epic. Like it really solidifies the kind of situation that you're in.
Well, I would say it probably puts the actual notion of epic versus, like, I mean, Final Fantasy is what it is. It's an epic. You're going on a long journey. Versus, like, the gamer term of epic. Where it's like, oh my God, this is epic. Or epic metal.
Cliches aside. This song is just everything that I want in a video game song. It's heavily layered. There's honestly not a lot of melodic movement, but that's fine because it's all done by the rhythm section. And there's a lot of weird instruments in the song too. Like there's a whip.
Does it also nay-nay?
And sell you a car. I'll put the link for that horrible commercial too. But yeah, everything about this song is just great. The melody itself is kind of somber, but is not really sad.
What also makes this song really good is this is one of the few sections of the game where it doesn't play the traditional battle theme for the Final Fantasy game. It continues this song the entire time. It does not break the flow. So it's not only suitable for the location that it is, it's also very suitable for the battles that you're doing. The only time it doesn't stay is when you're battling Seymour.
And that fight is
annoying.
Known as essentially the kid stopper. Because everyone I knew as a kid stopped playing the game at that moment.
Yeah, my first initial run was pretty much stopped partially at that point. I actually had to use magic. How dare game keep me from just pressing X? I'm going burr.
Yeah, play Final Fantasy VIII if you want to do that.
Which is funny because it's like the only game where I don't want to just press X.
Yeah, this song has 2 sections too. Can't have the respite of the B section without the buildup of the A section. And it's even cooler because the B section feeds into the A section. So it's kind of cyclical. And then I also found out that this song is not written by Nobuo Uematsu.
Really? Who wrote it?
It turns out all the songs that I like from Final Fantasy X were written by Masashi Hamauzu.
So what you're saying is Uematsu is washed up.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Makes sense, since he stopped being used by Square Enix. I mean, joking aside, I actually think he's washed up.
He did do Hyperdimension for a while, though.
That was weird. I mean, come on, he fixed Distant Worlds.
He did. For anybody that doesn't know that story, I get a little tangent. In Final Fantasy XI, there was a song called Memory dello Stono. And it was a very basic melody. There wasn't a lot going on. And Nobuo came up and fixed up the song for them called Distant Worlds, which took that melody and just made it into this grand song, which is very symphonic. Has Susan Calloway singing, lovely voice. And just goes to show how much of a better writer he is than pretty much anybody that took his replacement, with the exception of Hamauzu.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, probably a couple people there that'll match him. At least.
Also, for the fanboys of 13, Hamauzu also wrote the battle theme for Final Fantasy 13. So there you go.
Light? No wonder that one was so good. I mean, granted, it's like the only standout song in the game, but
anyway.
Yeah, I mean, nothing much more to add. Like I said, the song has really good emotional point for it. I mean, there's a lot that goes on to this point in Final Fantasy X. And I don't know. I feel like maybe a deep dive of 10 is probably better for trying to get a lot of points across, because that game has so much good music.
I don't think if we do that, we're not going to be able to do every single song.
Oh, I know we're not going to be able to do every single song, but there's a lot of songs.
There's like 90.
No, I meant like there's a way for us to be able to go through the soundtrack, but not go through like every single song.
We'll come to an answer eventually.
Yeah, we'll figure out a format for songs like this, or for bigger soundtracks. But when is your cover supposed to be done this week?
I'm not going to make any promises.
Well, what's supposed to come out, this or your next video?
My next video, hopefully.
Okay. Well, anyways, hopefully whenever his video comes out, whether it's before this weekend or in the new year, we'll definitely have the link into the description.
Yep. And also, it is the piano collection version of this song called People of the Far North. And it is very difficult.
Yeah, it's also completely changes how the song sounds. I mean, first of all, it's piano only, but still, it's a very different way of hearing a song compared to just having so many instruments being played. If you just narrow it down to just a piano, just covering so many different tones and sounds, it gives it a completely different feel, while still maintaining that it's an emotional section. And
if you want a 180 comparison, I'll link 2 other songs from Final Fantasy X. Guado Salam. Oh man, that song is almost unrecognizable in the piano collections version. Same thing with Besaid.
Besaid.
Anyways.
But yeah, that'll do it for today's episode. And whenever this episode comes out, still during the holidays, happy holidays. But more than likely, this will probably be in the new year. So, Happy New Year's, everybody, and see you in 2021.
And the next time we'll be talking about Stardew Valley.
Will we?
We will.
Oh, okay.
Now you know.
Oh. Now I actually have to learn some of the songs.
We got a while.
We got a year.
Shut up. Happy holidays, everybody.